It is time again to see how our garden is doing. I did a video last month showing you guys what our garden looked like, but a lot has changed since then, and it is time to show y'all what's going on. Starting with these massive elderberry plants. I mean, look at this. These things are crazy huge. And all those little green things right there are berries. We're super excited about that. This will be our first year getting elderberries off of our plants. We've had these plants for about, I think these are their second year now. They were dug up at a friend's property and given to us. We'll be harvesting elderberry around, I believe it's end of summer, like August, September maybe. May even be a little bit later than that. But for now, just stay tuned. Next is this Asian pear tree. This has been here for, I believe it's in its second or third year here now. It's definitely getting older. It doesn't have any fruit on it this year. Here we have some of our melons. This is the Orange Glow variety. I showed you guys those last month. Y'all seen how many blueberries we got off of these bushes. If you've been keeping up with our harvest videos, then you know. We got a lot of blueberries off this plant this year. We're super excited to end that one right over there. We're pretty much done for the season. There's like 4 little berries sitting on here, and I think there's 1 berry left over there. So we're done for the season on this year, but we were super happy with how many we got. We only got a few berries the year before. Next up, this is Jonathan's pumpkin. So here we have the sweet sugar pie, I believe. There's like 3 or 4 plants here. And then there's another mystery variety. It's the one that we grew last year, if you guys were watching. I don't remember the name of it though. This has had tons of flowers on it yet. I believe they're all male. This one might be female. I'm not sure yet. But stay tuned. You know, I've seen a lot of pollinators around this thing. So can't wait to get some pumpkins. This is a Fuji apple tree. We have this here on it because it was sort of leaning this way. So Dad just sort of like rigged something to pull it back, and it seems to be working so far. And then down here, we have some of those melons that the boys planted. This is either it's Sugar Baby or it's Jubilee, I believe. This right here is a Gala apple. Again, we haven't gotten any apples yet. These are newer trees, so not expecting any fruit off of them for probably at least another year or two. And then over here we have another watermelon. We like to plant stuff that likes to trail around our trees because it sort of helps keeps the weeds down as well as the mulch, because once they get big, you can sort of spin them around and it'll just shade everything around the tree. It also keeps it cool, and it keeps it from the soil from drying out over the summer. This is our Mary Washington asparagus. Now, we did not harvest any of it this year. This is brand new, just planted it very early this spring. We don't have any asparagus that's ready to be harvested, but next year we'll probably do a light harvest. Right here in this general area, we have tomatoes. What seems to be, we have some Roman tomatoes here, and it looks like that one's a large cherry. We also have some marigolds here, and we have, this is a new addition to our garden this year. This is pinto beans. As you can see, we're already getting some beans here. There's one there, a couple there. So if anyone has any pinto bean care tips, make sure to drop them in the comments. And then this is our squash bed. So we have Black Beauty zucchini, which we grow every year. We also added gray zucchini this year. We have butternut squash, spaghetti squash. We did crickneck squash. Maybe 1 or 2 others here. Over here are some of our sunflowers. We sort of have just plant sunflowers all over the garden. But this patch right here is the Velvet Queen. This is a new addition. We usually only do yellows, but this one's sort of like a sunset color. And then we also have a lot of bell peppers here. There may be 1 or 2 hot peppers. We have a bell pepper here, there's a marigold. And then right here are some of the bigger bell pepper plants. I guess these just grew bigger. And I think I'm going to go ahead and harvest here our first bell pepper of the season. It's a little bit small, but cute. So it's just a lot of bell peppers. We have some purple bell peppers if you look all the way up there. Right here. This is a purple bell pepper. There's a couple more here. That's a new addition as well. We're excited about that. I've seen a lot of people growing them. Here we have our huge cucumber patch. You can just see them. They go from here all the way over to there. We are growing Boston pickling, National Pickling Improved, and Marketmore 76. We grow Marketmore 76 every year. Absolutely love it. Pickling cucumbers, though, is something we've never done, but are trying. This tomato cage fell over when we got those really high winds. Just haven't had a chance to put it back up. We have a lot of different tomatoes here. There's German Johnson, I believe. Now, those are just starting to flower. I think there's one right there. And I believe there's Purple Cherokee and Lemon Boy in here somewhere. We have Roma. None. We haven't harvested any Roma yet, but there's lots of them. Here's some large cherry. We grow large cherry every year. Absolutely love it. See? We get tons of tomatoes off of these, more than we can eat, usually. We also have in here, this is our lettuce, but we've been talking about how this is bolting. As you can see, it's getting tall. It's not really putting on any more leaves. So I think we're just going to try letting it go and letting it seed in this bed and see if they just come back on their own. Someone let me know if you guys have ever tried that, what your thoughts are on that. Right here we have a raspberry. I'm not sure which variety of raspberry that is. This is an Ouachita blackberry. Didn't get any blackberries off of that. It's new. And here's another new one, Ouachita blackberry. Didn't get any berries off of that. That blackberry has been in for about 3 years, I think. And we got a massive amount of blackberries off of it. I'm actually going to go ahead when we get on the other side. I'll harvest that. But we've gotten probably, 2 or 3 pounds of berries already off of that. There's just more tomatoes, lots of tomatoes. We did a lot of tomatoes and lettuce in this bed. But all the lettuce is sort of dying out. Here's another one of those ones we got. It's either a German Johnson or Purple Cherokee. And here's Joshua's homemade trellis. I showed you guys this quite a few times. This has pole beans on it. Kentucky Wonder variety. We grow Kentucky Wonder every year. Absolutely love it. It produces a massive amount of beans. You just have to keep harvesting them and they'll just keep coming back. So there's one here. One here. The only challenge I've had with these is actually keeping up with harvesting them. Because once you start harvesting them, they just don't stop. Now, we've never done them on an arch trellis before. This is new. Usually we just put a very tall, straight trellis up for them. But it looks like so far it's working out pretty well. As you can see, they've gotten all the way up to the center point here without any issues. So we normally have a bridge that goes across this little creek here, but it got taken out in the last storm and we haven't put it back. But right here, you can see it right there with the little stalks on top of it, is Jonathan's popcorn. So that's the early pink variety. And it looks like it just put up its pollination stalks. And then we'll show you his sweet corn in a minute. But that's been doing pretty well. Some of it's been taken out by the high winds, like it gets knocked out, like knocked over, and then doesn't stand back up and it dies. But most of it's still there. And he's probably excited about that. We really wanted to do popcorn this year. So another one of Jonathan's little project. He likes to do the pumpkins and the corn. Right here is John's sweet corn. This is the Golden Bantam variety. There are definitely more plants here, so we're going to get more of it. We grew the Golden Bantam last year, and it was great.
So about 2.5, maybe 3 months ago, we tried something new with potatoes. We tried these potato towers made out of chicken wire, straw, and dirt. There's layers of straw and dirt in there. If you want to see how we did it, there's a potato tower video where we built these. Today, we're going to pull a couple of these up. Since it's been so long, and see what we have under here. Now, keep in mind that there has been torrential rains here in Texas. So we're hoping that we got a harvest, but with the amount of rain that we've gotten here, it may not look that good. So let's give it a try. See what we got. think maybe we harvested a little too early. It's been about close to 90 days. But as you see, they're still not dying back. And the potatoes are small, but they're not rotted out, so it's not from water damage. So I think we might let these grow for a while yet and see what we get.
And right there, you see that small tree right there? That's our Methley plum tree. Again, a newer tree, so we haven't gotten any fruit. Hopefully within the next year or two. This is another one of Jonathan's little projects. He has his own little garden next to the chicken coop. Here he has some bush beans. Most of them have died at this point, but there's some of them are still putting out some beans here. You can see some smaller stuff. They're not really giving us much anymore. But now that the pole beans are really starting to kick, it's not a big deal. We've gotten plenty of beans off of these for this year. Then we also have here, we do have Swiss chard over there, which I normally show you. Got some, see? It's getting eaten a little bit, but to be expected with any kind of organic gardening, you're going to have stuff that's going to get slightly eaten. And then Jonathan also put some lettuce over here. Some of this is still going, even for the heat. He did plant it a little bit later than when we planted ours. So we've gotten some, now that our lettuce is pretty much done, we've gotten some lettuce off of here. Really, though, it's not enough for us to have like a whole meal. Usually we just like put on like some sandwiches or stuff. Right here is a Marcus grapevine. So this is like a green seedless grape. This is the smallest one. We just planted these this spring as well. We're really excited about it. Can't wait to get some grapes off these, hopefully within the next year or two. Here's that other Marcus grapevine. This one is much bigger. Trying to train him to grab onto the fence a little bit here. And then here are our massive peach trees. These trees have been around the longest. They've been around as long as that big blackberry bush down there. We started out with our 2 peach trees, the blackberry bush, and then this lemon tree right here in the pot. This tree has some crazy fruit on it this year. The other one put on some flowers, but I think we pruned a lot of the branches off. It just needed to be done, so we went ahead and did that. But this has a ton of fruit on it. And then this is that lemon tree I just mentioned, and this is the first time that this has actually put on some good size lemons. Most of the time it has only put on like little lemons, like, you know, little pea-sized lemons, and they turn yellow and fall off. Joshua built this huge pot for it because we had this shoved into a tiny little pot. As you can see, it's not nearly as big as those peach trees, even though they're around the same age. So hopefully this will give it more room to spread, to get bigger, and to hopefully give us more fruit next year. And this is a Candice seedless grapevine, another one we added this year. These things have gotten really big for only being planted in February. And then here's this last one. This one is just absolutely massive. It has grown up all the way to there. It's huge. This is another one of the Candice. So these are like a red. In this bed, these are those cute little pallet beds that Joshua built. I'll link that video below if you guys want to see that. They're made completely for free. And then here we have celery, which is something we're trying this year, and we've already gotten some off of it. There's one here, one here. I think we ended up with 3 or 4 plants. And then the rest of this bed is sweet potatoes. I had talked with you guys about how we didn't want to have to be digging up sweet potatoes, so I was okay with putting them in garden beds and in pots. We just sort of shoved them wherever they would fit. This is a massive surprise for me. This is another new addition. This is Brussels sprouts. I did not think that these were going to make it at all. I was sure that these were going to die once the heat came up and we weren't going to get any sprouts. But if you look down here, there are some pretty big sprouts down here already forming. Now they're not quite ready to pick yet, I don't think, but I think that these are going to make it for us to get some harvest off of them. And there's about, I would say, at least 5 or 6 plants in this bed. Here we have broccoli and more sweet potato vines. Right now we're just harvesting side shoots off of like 2 plants here, and we've been getting enough broccoli to probably have it with dinner once a week, even for our big family. So that's a lot of broccoli. You can see there's some here that's starting to flower. Honestly, I've harvested the stuff after it looks like this, and it still tastes really good. All right, so this next part of the garden, our garden beds, is very, very, very weedy. So just ignore the weeds. I'm going to let y'all know what's in these beds. So first we have some beets back here. Now we did have something that ate a bunch of our larger beets. They like ate the actual beet part and then left the leaves. So I wound up feeding those leaves to the chickens because the plants were dying. A lot of sweet potatoes in this bed, as you can see. Now right here, I believe that this is a radish that we left in there. It looks like a radish. I figured I'd let it go because I want to start saving more of our own seeds. We do save seeds from a lot of our like staples, like cucumbers, tomatoes, but not a lot of stuff that isn't a staple for us, like a radish. So I'm going to let this go and collect the seeds off of this. Over here, we have more sweet potatoes. There's marigolds. There's marigolds all over these beds. You may not see them all though because they're probably covered in weeds. This right here is a tomato that we planted from a sucker clipping. I am still planning on doing a video about this over the summer. More sweet potatoes. I think I said that already. And right here we have a couple of bolting onions. Again, want to collect more seeds from stuff. And I think we're going to experiment and try and plant our onions from seed. I guess it would be we would plant them this year. I think it's fall you have to plant them. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that because I'm excited to see how the experiment turns out. Behind me, lots of beautiful flowers. This bed was sort of like our experiment with new flowers bed. So first we have larkspur. This is absolutely gorgeous. Now it looks like it already put on some seeds. I don't really know how to collect seeds. I'll have to look that up. We have a beautiful pinks and whites. And this stuff has just drawn in the pollinators. Like they absolutely love this stuff. Next we have some zinnias here we got going on. This is a smaller one. More larkspur. And this is also where we have our purple carrots planted. I'm just going to let y'all know I'm almost done with carrots because I'm going to leave some of these in the ground, again, for seed. I know that it'll be next year till I get seeds, but I want to start that process now because I don't have any more of these purple carrot seeds. They were sort of gifted to me as like someone had old purple carrot seeds and they were gifted. So I want to leave these in, get some seeds off of them. Next, we have our Swiss chard. I'm going to go ahead probably and harvest some of this here in just a minute. We also have more sweet potatoes. Lots of sweet potatoes. And then we have garlic. I talked about how we planted our garlic late. Now we didn't get any scapes. Or is it scapes? The things that sort of like come up our flowers. We didn't get any of those this year. And I think that our garlic's going to be smaller because of it. Now the good news is we way overplanted the garlic last year. And we have more than enough, I think, to get us through. With this stuff, we'll have more than enough, I think, to get us through this year as well. So in here we have a lot of weeds, but more garlic. You can see. Now these are bigger garlics. And this is where our orange carrots are planted. Again, almost done with those. Going to leave some in for seed. And there's some more sweet potatoes, not as many. Over here is our massive zinnia plant. This just sort of ended up here. Not really sure how. I've been clipping off a lot of the flowers, but I'm leaving this one right here for seed. I also have zinnia cuttings I've gotten off this plant that I've rooted now. Inside they have roots. They're beautiful and they're ready to be planted. So I'm going to move those out. This is that blackberry bush that we talked about on the other side of the fence. So you see there's a fence there and we're on the other side talking about this bush. I'm going to go ahead and harvest these berries. And right here we have a lot of 10-gallon grow bags all along here filled with sweet potato plants. Just beautiful, massive sweet potato plants. Again, I talked about this back there how I want to plant stuff, the sweet potatoes, so I don't have to dig them up. And this way I can just dump them out. We're going to see how this goes. We got a massive harvest of sweet potatoes last year, but the problem was we had to dig them up, and it took forever. And here's that cucumber plant. This is the market more. I sort of came through the fence here. I'll see if there's any cucumbers to harvest on this side. Looks like there's a small one right there. All right, y'all, here's everything that we got. Got some cherry tomatoes, some blackberries. Our first bell pepper of 2024. Is that exciting, Rocky? Some Swiss chard, a little bit of lettuce, and a lot of cucumbers. We got like 6 cucumbers here. Make sure y'all are staying tuned and watching our harvest shorts because we usually harvest a lot more than this. I also forgot to mention I got some herbs here. There's some chamomile, calendula, and I'm going to send Bailey out, I think, to get the rest of that feverfew. There's a good amount of it. And also can't forget Dad's potatoes. Thanks for joining us on this tour. Make sure you guys are subscribed and staying tuned for those harvest videos. And Make sure you guys drop a comment down below. Let me know any of your questions, your thoughts, and don't forget to check out our 2024 Herb Garden Tour.